Using KeepTradeCut's data from the past 30 days, these are the top 5 players whose dynasty value is falling the fastest right now. Whether it's injury concerns, competition, or just hype dying down, these guys are slipping. The question is, should you panic, or is this a buy window?
Hey.
What's going on, guys? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to announce that every single Friday here on out, we're going to be doing a live show on Justin Paul Sports YouTube channel. So if you guys want to watch me break down film live, go over some of the rookies in this year's class, things like that, go check that out. I'll post a link to his channel and the live stream here in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, so at number 5 here we have Isaiah Bond, who's currently not signed to any team, and unfortunately I don't think he's going to be signed to any team anytime soon either. So with Isaiah Bond, I loved him coming out of Texas. I loved his Alabama film as well, but he's kind of interesting because he doesn't have that much production throughout college, and you know, if he didn't have some issues pop up in the offseason pre-draft, he probably would have been a second or a third round pick in my eyes. But with Bond, I loved how quick he was. I know people saw Matthew Golden's 40 time 4.29. Bond plays way faster on the football field than Bond could ever. And, you know, I thought he had decent, yak ability. I thought he accelerated extremely quick. He had some inconsistencies with his hands and some route running issues, but I thought his speed out, guys, was basically unguardable if you were on him man to man. But unfortunately, guys, he got into some legal issues. I'm not really going to get into what he did or what he's being accused of right now. If you're interested, just give Isaiah Bond a quick Google. You'll probably find it out fairly quickly. But with those legal issues currently in the making, and there hasn't been any court date, I don't believe, or anything finalized for him yet, but it does look pretty bad on his side. I don't think he's going to get signed until all of his legal issues are basically finalized. So if you guys are expecting him to join a team, he shouldn't be on a roster right now in Dynasty, so just keep him on the waivers, and if you hear any news about him getting picked up, then I would probably put him on your taxi squad. Alright, so at number 4, I bet you guys didn't expect to see Travis Hunter on this list. I was kind of surprised by seeing his stock drop a little bit over the past 30 days on KeepTradeCut, but with Travis Hunter, guys, you probably saw the clips if you're on Twitter or, on YouTube, whatever, of him running some comeback routes, and they didn't look particularly great. And guys, that's kind of all flack in my opinion. We know what Travis Hunter is as a talent, and we know he's going to be incredible. I mean, just look at his film last year at Colorado. It was absurd. I mean, his ball skills are better than any player I've ever scouted in my 7 years of doing this, guys. And, I think part of that is from the routes, and the other part of that is how good he looked in defense, in the defensive drills for the Jaguars. I still think they utilize him on offense because that's a little bit more, it has more overhead, and it's, easier to look at and see, oh, okay, we got this guy at number 2 overall. We want him to produce for us early, and I think that is on offense. Now, with Travis Hunter, he's not going to be the number 1 on the team. I think BTJ will be the number 1 on the team, but Travis Hunter can eat underneath and use that yak ability, and you can throw jump balls up to him from time to time. Like I said, he's got great ball skills. He will basically make that ball a heat-seeking missile to his hands every single time. So I wouldn't really worry about Travis Hunter here. I think if you have him, keep him. If you drafted him top 5 overall, I think it's a great value for you. And we're just going to have to see what he does in that offense for the Jaguars. All right, guys, at number 3, we have Amari Cooper, who I know Player Profiler has as a Buffalo Bill, but he's currently a free agent, and he hasn't signed anywhere yet. Which is strange because, he had some decent games last year. He was traded mid-season to the Bills, Didn't really look that great on the Bills outside of a touchdown here and there. And honestly, guys, I've heard some reports from some of his former coaches that are basically saying he is cooked. Guys, we just saw him in 2023, where he put up that monster game of over 260 yards. That was just 2 years ago, and he hasn't had any big-time injuries since then. So I still think he has the talent in order to be something somewhere, but obviously I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 talent just because of how little teams have been interested in him overall. Maybe he's wanting a little bit more money, or he's holding out for a better team or something like that, or just feeling his offers. I don't know why he hasn't been signed yet, but I do expect him to be on a team somewhere at the start of the season. But with how his market has been going throughout the offseason, I wouldn't expect him to be a wide receiver 1 on a team. But if you have him, there's no sense in cutting him right now, just because as soon as he signs to a team, his value is going to explode a little bit. That's when you can move off of him if you want. But yeah, don't expect him to be a wide receiver 1 on the team if it's been this long and nobody's offered him a deal that he likes. And at number 2, guys, it's Jonathon Brooks for the Panthers. Really unfortunate story for him, because his final year of college, he tore his ACL. So that basically made him unstartable for the Panthers until he was fully recovered, which was about, a little over halfway through the season this past year. And then a couple of games after he was playing, he tore his ACL again, the same leg as well. So people didn't really know how that was going to affect him. Obviously, back-to-back torn ACLs on your same leg is going to be disastrous for any running back. And they did put him on the PUP list, which basically says he's not going to be playing at all in 2025. So this dip in his value is just from Dynasty managers kind of like, man, I drafted him in, the late first round, or maybe even earlier than that in my rookie drafts, didn't get any value barely out of him his rookie season. Now I'm not getting any value out of him in his sophomore season. And who knows, they signed Chuba Hubbard long term. I looked at the contract earlier today. They do have an out after the 2026 season, but guys, I think they're going to roll with him at least until 2027 if he continues to play like he did last year. And with Jonathon Brooks, we can't expect him to be a running back 1 after back-to-back big-time knee injuries. And, he's basically, unfortunately, a bust, in my opinion. So keep him on your IR slot, and maybe in 2026 he sees some work and he can be one of the very, very few running backs that have had back-to-back knee injuries that can, come on strong, like Adrian Peterson or somebody like that. But I highly doubt it, guys. But his value is basically in the dirt right now, so there's no point in cutting him. Keep him on your IR slot and wait for him to maybe do something in 2026. And a weird one to see at the very top of the fallers list is Gabe Davis. He's a free agent also. He played with the Jaguars last year, got hurt. He had a couple of games where he had 2 touchdowns, I believe. But overall, he was kind of exciting in Buffalo as their wide receiver too. He would have a big game every now and then. And, he just really didn't do that with the Jaguars. And unfortunately, guys, doesn't seem like his market's really good either. Similarly to Amari Cooper, but obviously Amari Cooper as a talent was much better than Gabe Davis ever was coming out of UCF. But I will say he's probably going to end up as a depth piece on a team if he signs anywhere. So he's probably pretty cuttable right now, in my opinion. Unless it's a super deep league, and then just keep him on the roster for that, I guess. But yeah, if he does sign anywhere, I think he's going to be a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, kind of like a depth option. So don't expect much from Gabe Davis wherever he signs, if he signs anywhere. Value in Dynasty moves quick, but that doesn't always mean you need to sell. Some of these guys might bounce back. Others, they could be done. Let me know in the comments who you're holding or offloading from this list, and be sure to join the Bobby's Big Board Discord to talk trades and get the latest rookie buzz. The link is in the description. Smash that like button if you're buying the dip, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.